Testing. One, two, three. Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. I hope that everything that you wanted to accomplish on last week was accomplished. But even if it wasn't, that's quite all right. Stay for a little while to hear what I got to say on this Wellness Wednesday about how to be more healthier when you are dealing with high blood pressure. Yes, for the next 2 weeks, maybe three, I'm going to come to you with some little nuggets, some little tidbits about how to work when you have high blood pressure, how to bring it down. And I'm going to be doing a 2 week challenge, probably towards the end of the month. I'm crossing my fingers, y'all, because it's going to be a challenge for me. But basically, the 2 week challenge is to show you how to eat differently and lower your blood pressure within 2 weeks. Now, I will come back, excuse me, I will come back to you when it's time to talk about that, maybe next week, to tell you exactly how the plan works. It's called the DASH plan. It's something new that I found out and that I'm learning. But today I'm going to talk about tips, and I'm going to hold my paper up because, you know, I like to get my information because as a social worker, I love to present resources. So if you can see that, it says tips to reduce salt and sodium. And when we're reducing our salt and sodium, we're doing it to live healthier lives. Yes, sometimes I like to put a little salt on my plate after seasoning my food. But as a person with high blood pressure, and I mean high blood pressure, I have to learn how to not use that salt so much. So guess what? We are going to learn together today, right? So stay tuned and come back for more information on that. All right. Now that you've come back and you stayed with me a little longer, we're going to talk about that. Okay. The first thing that you need to know when you're learning how to eat healthy or reduce your salt and sodium intake is to do what? Eat your vegetables. You hear so many times when you're young, eat your vegetables because they will help you to grow up and be strong. When I was growing up, I used to hear them say, eat your spinach. You remember Popeyes and you eat your spinach and they say you're going to be strong. Well, I don't know how true that was, but spinach is very delicious depending on how you want to cook it. The next tip is it's a term that says go low or no, meaning lower your sodium intake or don't have any at all. When you learn to check the nutritional facts on all of your food that you're eating, you will see how much sodium, how much sugar, carbohydrates, or anything like that that you're trying to stay away from is actually in our foods. Now, I'm not saying that everybody needs to stay away from a lot of salt and sodium because I guess if you learn how to cook it properly and season it, you won't have to rely on so much salt. But mostly everything that we are eating store-bought has some form of sodium in it. So the next one is called, well, I'm not going to say called because that don't even really sound right. The next tip is to subtract and don't add, which means that if you're eating canned foods such as tuna or beans, rinse them off and try to remove as much of the sodium as possible. Cook rice or pasta, hot cereals without salt. So, you know, eat those kind of things because when you're cooking things at home, you could add as much salt or not add the salt. Like you could season your food how you need to season it to your taste, but you will know not to add that extra sodium. Okay. When you want to give your food a little bit of flavor and spice it up, boost the flavor using herbs and spices, lemon and lime, sometimes vinegar, or guess what? They have salt-free seasoning blends. And guess who got the good? I'm not going to say they're the best, but Mrs. Dash does have salt-free seasoning blends that I love to use. And one of them is my lemon and pepper seasoning. Hold on one second. I'm going to get there for you so I can show you what I like to use. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry, had to go and find it. But anyway, this is what I mean about Mrs. Dash. This is lemon and pepper seasoning. Okay, lemon and pepper seasoning. And based on this, it is called, it's salt-free, no MSG. So a lot of the ingredients is lemon, pepper seasoning, celery seeds, bay seeds, savory thyme, different things like that, which will make your food really, really good. Okay, so the next tip is to pay attention to preparation. Like when you go out to restaurants or things, or when you buying prepared foods, try to be careful with buying foods that are already cured. Like I don't really buy cured food. I see that in the market a lot, but it says things such as bacon and ham that are cured. Foods packaged in brine, such as pickles. Oh my goodness! And guess what? I love me some pickles, but I don't eat them all the time. And I love sauerkraut, horseradish, ketchup, barbecue sauce. Now, it's not to say that you can't have these things. Sometimes you have to, as it says, go low or no, like limit the amount of servings, I'm going to say, that you use when you are using these items. Okay. The next tip is fresh is best, and that will help to reduce your salt and sodium intake. Frozen, skinless, poultry, fish, lean cuts of meat, your frozen vegetables, they are the best for you. I love fresh vegetables. You can hook them up any way you want to and season them however you want to. Okay, studies have found that the DASH eating plan, which I will be talking about in the next 2 weeks, can lower your blood pressure as fast as 2 weeks. So I'm going to check this out. I'm going to see how it's going to work, but I will have to eat less sodium during them 2 weeks. So I'm going to follow their plan. I'm going to buy the foods that they are suggesting. I'm pretty sure that I can do alternatives, but I'm going to talk about that next week and give y'all the whole menu. And if you want to challenge with me, we're going to go on this journey together. Okay. Easy tips for dining out. 1, move the salt shaker away. Okay. The simple first step is to move the salt shaker away. Then you won't be tempted because hopefully they're seasoning their food pretty good. Research the restaurant's menu that you're about to go to. One good thing I'm learning in some restaurants, even though I don't eat out as much. Oh, sorry if y'all hear the music. You know how it go when you recording in the home and you're not in a soundproof box. You're going to hear the neighbors when they're riding by playing their music. But that's all right. Okay, that's all right. But a lot of restaurants will show how much milligrams or how many milligrams are in their food when it comes to the sodium. They'll let you know that they have some fat-free items. They'll let you know that they have some vegan items. They're getting a little bit more health conscious, and that's kind of great. Make special requests when you're at a restaurant. That's another tip. If you make a special request by asking that your meal be prepared without added salt, because sometimes we all watch the cooking shows, and sometimes in the cooking shows, they're sprinkling the salt on top. And I used to always wonder, why are they sprinkling regular salt on top of steaks like that? Why don't they just marinate it to get it seasoned? But mostly when people are cooking on these cooking shows, they sprinkle a lot of salt on top of the steak and then pepper, and that's it. And I'd be like, that thing probably can't taste that great. It's probably a little seasoned, but it really don't taste that great. I'm pretty sure. But hey, I'm a girl that like a lot of spice and flavor. So, I don't know. And then next tip is go slow on the condiments. Like I said, we like a lot of ketchup, mustard, mayo. We like horseradish. We like that barbecue sauce. We like that A157 Heinz sauce. We love it all when we're about to eat our food when we at a restaurant. But go little, go easy on that, okay? Because that has added salt in it too. Then you can always go for the healthy appetizers in your side dish. Order some, steamed vegetables as opposed to the vegetables cooked in a lot of oil. Me personally, I use a lot of canola oil and olive oil when I'm cooking. I'm not saying that they are the best, and I'm not saying that sometimes I don't use vegetable oil, but my go-to oil is canola, olive oil, and I am starting to use a little bit of avocado oil as well. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want to say, and guess what? This video is going to be over very soon. Now, this is an example of how most of the sodium we eat comes from added salt and packaged and prepared foods, and only a small amount occurs naturally in foods that have not been cooked. Like you go to the farm, you pick your vegetables, you pick your foods, things like that. You just have to, like I said earlier, check your nutritional facts. So this is a list. And what I'm going to do is make sure that I link this below so that you'll be able to get a copy. So it's saying on here that grains such as cooked cereal, rice, and pasta, unsalted, half a cup of serving has 0 to 15 grams of sodium. Ready to eat package cereal has 0 to 360 grams of sodium. One slice of bread has 120 to 210 grams of sodium. That sounds like a lot, right? Guess what? I didn't know this. And I'm like, wait a minute. Turkey breast lunch meat, only 3 ounces, has 540 to 810 grams of sodium. And I love me some cut honey turkey and corned beef. Oh my. Ham, lean or roasted, only 3 ounces, have 920 to 950 grams of sodium. So look at all these different types of food that we are eating have all this sodium. Even your milk and your yogurt, 1 cup. Now, when I'm thinking about this, milk having 110, just 1 cup of milk, grams of sodium, and yogurt, 85 to 190 grams of sodium, milligrams of sodium. And I'm thinking to myself, well, how did the sodium get in the milk? Did they put it in there when they was processing it? Or did it get in there when, they were feeding the cows? Whatever. I don't know. I'm not a farmer. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot me now. I'm learning too. But it was just a thought. I wonder. Okay. So I was reading somewhere, when I go to give you the information, like next week, when I'm getting ready to do my 2-week challenge, I guess towards the end of the month, I'm going to start it. Because I got to prepare myself, okay? A sister's not ready to just, give up everything. But I am ready to lower their blood pressure and become a little bit more healthier, because guess what? I'm getting younger. I'm not going to say older, but as I get younger, I need to start learning how to be more health conscious, because my blood pressure is still where it's at. I still take medication for my blood pressure. And the next time I come here, I'm going to still be talking about how to reduce your high blood pressure, other things that you can do. One of the things, as I said, reducing your salt and sodium. The next thing I'm going to be talking about, so you got to stay tuned, I'll be talking about how breathing, I said it, breathing helps to reduce. Hold on 1 second. I thought I had a little thing here, a little cheat sheet here. A little cheat sheet right here about the breathing that I will be talking about come next week. So I got a little cheat sheet that I just wanted to say that breathing for high blood pressure, okay, that it helps to reduce your blood pressure. But guess what? You got to come back next week and see what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was surprised too when I was reading this wonderful book that I'm going to discuss next week. It is called, I love to talk about self-care. It is called A Little Book of Self-Care. I hope you got it. Breathe Work. It is really talking about how to breathe for everything that you need, because we need air to breathe. So I will get back to you on next week about that. We're going to be talking about how to get that blood pressure down for the next 3 weeks before I start to talk to you about my meal plan and my challenge. So thank you so much for returning, coming back to my channel, listening to what I have to say. Because, I'm all about the motivation, lifestyle changes, and more. And more doing the DIY. But guess what, y'all? I got some other good stuff coming along. I told y'all this new year I was going to be doing some new things. Y'all going to be surprised. Did y'all like my hair video when I did the DIY, how to make the faux locks? Guess what? I'm going to put a video up on how I'm making my jewelry. Yes. And then when I get done, I'm going to show y'all how y'all can be a consumer and purchase the jewelry. But one thing at a time. So I hope that you live on purpose. I hope that you live intentionally. And I hope that whatever goals that you are setting this week, you get them goals accomplished. And even if you don't get them goals accomplished, guess what? there's still always tomorrow. So I'm going to come back and check on you on Friday, Yay Day, to see how did your week go and how did you accomplish whatever goal that you set out for this week. See you next time. Have a good one.